So like they'll put like a turtle maze of all white shoes, and then they'll have a black shoe at the center.
Racist turtle.
And the turtle will just walk the maze, but when it sees the black
turtle.
one, it'll attack it.
Well, it makes sense because turtles are like 300 years old, so they're living in another time.
Yeah.
Did you see the one of the? All right, so this one is very close to my heart. It made me pretty upset. So listen to this. You guys know the whole thing with catalytic converters, right?
Yep.
They're getting stolen like crazy.
Stolen in the hole.
I did not know that it was to this degree. In the past 5 years, the theft is up in California 728%. Whoa. Percent, yeah.
What? Because there was already a lot being stolen.
It's a good side hustle.
Wow.
So they
Is California a failed experiment?
Not yet.
Starting to feel like it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
I mean, if you live in Pasadena, you probably can't feel it.
Right.
That's
Do
kind
you
of
feel it? I mean, you got homeless people arguing outside of your front yard, you said.
Yeah, but you know what? It's gone down. It's gone down.
That's the problem.
Yes,
That's the problem.
yeah, but it went down because of you.
No, you know what the problem is? Why I think a lot of people in California have a problem? We've all been in such crazy Stockholm syndrome that when we're here, like, oh, at least my boyfriend's not beating me anymore. Then you're like, everything's good. But then you go to every other state and you're like, oh no, it's actually a lot more work to do still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look,
it's like,
dude.
oh wow, my governor doesn't hate me. It's kind of crazy. And then you come back to California, like, oh right, the governor hates you.
If you live in a gated community, you're insulated from all that shit. And you forget about all the stuff that you saw on the way to your house.
I have a friend that lives in a gated community in the OC. You know him too. 8-figure house. Car just gets taken from the driveway and gonzos. So people are following people home. Like the crime is crazy.
Yeah.
Lock the gate.
So the California filed a motion to ban owning a catalytic converter that's not yours. Like you just can't have them.
No shit. No fucking shit, dude.
Right.
But what about all the shops that...
What does that mean?
That's so brilliant.
Well, because if you're like a
California's
if you're
government is really smart.
they don't sell catalytic converters. They sell cars that have them, but nobody's selling them. You're not
Like
supposed to
that
have
fool, you see that new law? Hey, we gotta return them, Messi. Follow and get all of them together.
But aren't they just tempting poor people having by letting you own a catalytic converter? You're basically tempting poor people. You're putting a jewel in the window.
Yeah, that's essentially the
I
problem.
mean, they rip them up and strip them for their copper and all that stuff and resell, right? Or like scrap.
Yeah, scrap.
So like, maybe they should probably look at all the places that are taking the scrap metal and the parts of catalytic.
Well, they're the criminals too. Yeah, and they do get
Because it's such a problem, they sell locks for it now. Like they know the parts where
they got shields.
Yeah, so that you can buy like almost like the club for the steering wheel. They have it for your catalytic converter because it's such a problem.
I saw a
still get 'em.
California congresswoman argue that it's the car company's fault.
That's this article.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the car company's fault because they should house them better so that they're not exposed, so that they can't be stolen.
Well, the thing is, California requires a catalytic converter. Other states don't require that.
Right.
We got those because of our smog laws.
And then that councilwoman said nothing about that. But here's the thing. In that motion to ban unlawful possession of catalytic converters, it was passed, but it was passed 8-4. So 4 of the council people did not believe that this is the right decision. They asked Nithya Raman, who's the one you're talking about.
Okay.
They asked her, why did you vote against it? Here's some of the things she said. And it's just like, I cannot believe this is our council.
Passing the buck.
Making this illegal will negatively impact Black and Latino communities.
That's racist.
That's one of them. Okay, that's one of the things she said.
I don't even understand that statement.
That's racist.
If the
Wait, what?
You know why? Okay, so if the largest victims are the poor communities in California, which tends to be immigrant communities, they're getting hit the worst with these catalytic converter crimes. In her mind, she's thinking the culprits are Black and Mexicans, and you're like, you can't take away their fucking racket.
She's what? Yeah.
Don't say that whiteys can't be meth heads, dude.
Yeah.
Whiteys want the copper too.
There are, yeah. When
They're some of the best
but
meth
she's
heads, okay? Assuming that most of the culprits are black and Mexican. But most of the victims is the immigrant poor communities, and they're getting their cars ripped off in catalytic. They're not going to Beverly Hills to steal that
There
shit.
are
You
like
can't go into Beverly Hills garages and steal this?
Nope.
Exactly.
there are a lot of yeah, she's right. There are a lot of low-income neighborhood people that are doing this crime. Some of them are Vietnamese and Asian too. Like there's some like huge rings that span across the country that are Asian.
But they target mostly low-income communities.
But when they say this shit too, right? That's like, that's like the racism of saying like, well, nobody who lives in Beverly Hills is even a race at all. It's just whiteys there, which is racist too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Michael Jordan doesn't live there.
Right. Yeah, it's all so gross.
But the reason why I think the negatively impacting those communities is because she's trying to be against punishment as a whole for these people, and because that'll put them in jail for being the ones that are doing this crime. So another thing she said is the thing you said, where she says if Toyota makes a car part that's the same value as a MacBook, they shouldn't have made it so easy to steal.
They don't have the state require it.
Thank you. She never addresses
Hey,
that.
do something about how MacBooks are expensive too. Thanks.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Bring the price
Yeah,
down.
why are MacBooks so stealable that you could just take it off the desk like it's nothing?
MacBooks are easy to steal too. Thank you. Exactly. And also, she says the city
Subsidies
should
for
make.
MacBooks.
There's
the
no
city should
resale
make-
market for MacBooks like that.
You gotta strip them apart.
She says that that it should be the city's responsibility to make a victim of theft whole instead of punishing another person.
So let the thievery go on, but then let's insure the people that got jacked.
But isn't the city our money that we pay in tax, anyways?
100%.
So that's not fair to be.
We're paying them to fucking enforce the law.
Yeah, right.
One of the craziest laws I heard or bills that's trying to get passed from my friend that's a cop is they want to ban police dogs because police dogs disproportionately bite black and brown. And so I guess they're making it a race issue versus a low income or like type issue. So like if they take that tool away, which is one of their best tools, it's like how the fuck are they going to do any policing?
And that's really strange because I thought dogs aren't inherently racist.
They are.
They are.
In the eyes of these types of people.
That's right.
Hey, I've watched
Well, it's
plenty
the
of
trainer that's racist.
I've
too.
watched a lot of episodes of Cops, and those dogs bite the hell out of some white dudes.
They do.
Sometimes those dogs bite the cops too. I've seen footage of like cops like trying to arrest this guy, and then the dog's like pulling on the cop's leg.
Oh, dude, I saw that one.
But have you guys seen the turtle that only bites and attacks the black shoes?
No.
You never see this? No. So like they'll put like a turtle maze of all white shoes, and then they'll have a black shoe at the center.
Racist turtle.
And the turtle will just walk the maze, but when it sees the
Racist
black
turtle.
one, it'll attack it.
Well, it makes sense because turtles are like 300 years old. So they're living in another time.
Did you see the one of the? That's fucked up.
You like that shit?
That's funny.
Thank you.
You like that shit?
I saw one of a turtle only biting and attacking the Viet shoes.
Really?
That turtle must have been my grandfather, bro. I think that turtle was just my grandfather. He looked like a turtle.
Yeah, but this thing just heats me up because it's like, first of all, like you said, California requires us to all have it, which is what makes it a problem when we get ours stolen, is you can't be riding around without it. Otherwise, you would just pipe the area where it's gone and just not have one, but then you get a fine for that.
If they gave a shit about disaffected communities and poor people, they would get rid of stupid-ass street sweeping, which is attacks.
Thank you.
Attacks
Thank
on poor
you,
people.
yeah.
They don't care about poor people. They don't give a fuck. They can't wait to tax poor people, but pretend like they're doing it for some environmental reason.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Parking laws in lower income neighborhoods are way the fuck.
Because they're so fucking confusing,
Yeah.
dude.
And also, poor people tend to not compete against the law. So like, there's less Karens, there's more immigrants. They can't. They don't have lawyers. They don't know how to do it. So if it's like for some reason, all those parking laws and tickets and those snitch tickets, which are proven to be really fucking predatory, right?
Yeah.
Which is those red light tickets.
unconstitutional.
Yeah. It has to be observed by a police officer, but most of those are in low-income neighborhoods.
Most of them are,
You know
yeah,
what's crazy?
absolutely.
You go to court. Go talk to people who are there. I've been to court, bro. I had to do jury duty down there. I was talking to people. People are sick of this kind of shit, and nobody's sticking up for them. There's not a politician that even exists for them.
Yeah.
And we all know it. And then stupid councilwomen like this or councilmen like this, they stand up for some issue and everyone's just confused about it. And everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about in the meantime? And there's real issues that people want addressed that never do get addressed.
And I think it's probably because of the upper middle class, snobby, white guilt peoples
100%.
that are like, oh, we can't blame the criminals, we can't treat them this way. But it's like, now you're unleashing them onto the poor communities, and it makes it worse on them.
Yeah, but because they're not going to the Palisades. They get when they get released, it's not in these gated communities, so they don't give a shit. Yeah. They can't wait to release them and feel good about themselves.
The parking thing is crazy because that's always in areas where the population's so dense.
Yep.
That
They can't park anywhere.
It's a tricky thing to even get
You
everybody.
park 7 blocks away. You can't wake up early enough to get there before street sweeping at 6 a.m. or whatever. What day is it again? On what side of the street? Such a joke.
One day, my buddy he was staying at his girlfriend's house, and his girlfriend in Pasadena lives in like a very nice area, and he left his car there overnight. And usually, you get a ticket if you don't get by a permit, right?
Right.
He wakes up in the morning and he sees a ticket on his window, and he's like, "Ah, fuck, I got a ticket." He looks at it, and the ticket is, "This is a warning for a parking ticket." And then in your head, you go like,
How would you know next time?
but it's just like, okay,
The fact that they even do that.
You don't get that. You don't get that in Koreatown.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
no
I lived
way.
there, pal.
they do this in these really nice areas where I'm like, why do they do a warning ticket? It's either you did it or you didn't do it, right? Like either you have the permit or you don't.
I've seen nice people who had no money at all, and they're crying talking to one of these parking attendants because they missed it by 30 seconds, and they're standing there like, "Can I move my car right now? Can you not give me the ticket right now?" And they're like, "No, I have to. I already started it." And all this
Yeah. Which is the worst.
But then, you get a warning if you live in the rich area.
Yeah.
But so it's like,
The corruption is
Dude,
what is it?
that's I got a really good view of that when I was living in between Hollywood and then half the time in Lincoln Heights. When I'm in Lincoln Heights, like we had a problem with this homeless population. There was like basically a chop shop that had opened up on the street where they were just like dismantling bikes and motorcycles and cars all day, and they had been being complained about for so much, and the city couldn't do anything about it. So what the city did was the city appointed a security guy for the complex I lived at so that those people couldn't come in, but they wouldn't fix the actual problem. Over in Hollywood, by the way, in this area that's called Fairfax Hills, there's a freaking dedicated police officer who is the police officer for the region. And anytime there's any complaint, that cop will come and just to make sure everyone's okay. So the difference is that those police there are there for you, the citizen, to make sure you're all right. Over there, it doesn't work that way. It's the opposite. Yeah. They're like, hey, that's what the world is. Sorry. Yeah. Over there, it's like they're basically like a concierge.
So you can't help but to throw your hands up.
Yeah, like I'll get a visit from the district cop, and he's like, "Hey, is everything cool? I saw like there was some construction in front of your house. Everything's all right. Like no one's jamming up the street. Like, what?"
That's true, because the cops in the city government, if you're in a rich neighborhood, it feels like they work for you.
Yeah.
And then when you're in a poor neighborhood, it feels like they control you.
They want to keep the people, the residents of those houses happy, so that they don't leave, so everything's cool.
Right, but then in a rich neighborhood, a lot of these people have power. Like they have connections, they're tied to the government, they got money for lawyers. They could make the lives of the city workers so miserable that they don't want to deal with it.
That's their leverage.
If you're in a poor community, that's a whole different story.
Call the cops in Beverly Hills. What's the average response time? Call the cops in Koreatown. Call the cops somewhere else.
Right.
Good luck. Right? 25 minutes. 23
What
minutes?
response?
Exactly. Exactly. But then they're told, hey, don't own guns though. Right? Don't own guns.
Yeah,
if
don't
you're-
do that.
If you're
No.
if you're low income, like I had a buddy, he lives in like fucking Marina Del Rey, and he's like, why does anyone need a gun? I don't fucking get it. And I'm like, he lives in Marina Del Rey, dude. That's why. That's why you think you don't need a gun. You know what? If I lived in Marina Del Rey, I wouldn't want a gun either.
Yeah.
Because why do I need one? Because you call the fucking cops and they're there in 35 seconds. Are you kidding me?
I don't need a gun because, I live in a gated community and the securities out front already have guns.
Exactly. Yeah. The people.
Yeah, that's funny.
Exactly. Meanwhile, the people getting shot up all the time are all the same low-income people. Nobody gives a fuck about them, though.
It sucks too when you hear a politician, like all Nithya Raman seems like she's doing is trying to steer it towards the thing she's fighting for, which is lower incarceration for people of color. Okay, cool, that's your initiative, fine, but don't shoehorn that into a catalytic converter situation. Like,
Dude.
that's so different to me.
Really ass backwards.
I'm like, you can still fight for that and also fight for people not being victims of theft.
Because now we think you're not very logical in how you make these arguments.
Yeah, I think
right?
they're dumb as fuck.
Who are the victims of the theft of the catalytic converters? Exactly.
Other low-income
Exactly.
people that can't afford to fix this. Yeah.
Who are the victims of people that don't go to jail? They stay in the communities that they're basically terrorizing.
Yeah.
So everyone at home, just take out your catalytic converter now. Just take it out and sell it. You'll be okay.
Well, but if you live in California, you have to have one, though. So just hold on to it in case.
So just make it easier for them. Take your MacBook and then put it under the catalytic converter. They'll just take the MacBook instead.
Turn your location services on.
By the way, it's also just as a little added thing, it's illegal to put a trap for someone trying to steal your catalytic converter.
What the fuck?
California.
How much are they again?
You can't even put a barbed wire around it. You can't do anything that might. If that guy gets hurt, it's on you.
Oh my god.
Hey, that's your state, Nick. Sit up and fucking.
Hey, it wasn't as bad as it was before.
Hey, don't make fun of me, dude.